Ukraine's unmanned systems forces published a video on social media showing the results of a nighttime strike on a Russian military airfield in the city of Taganrog in Russia's Rostov region. The commander of Ukraine's unmanned systems forces, Major Robert Magyar-Brovdy, confirmed the destruction personally. The targets were extraordinary in their combined strategic value. Two Tu-142 long-range maritime reconnaissance and anti-submarine warfare aircraft, each worth approximately $100 million, and each representing one of Russia's most capable sensors for detecting submarine threats in the Black Sea and beyond, were destroyed while sitting on the runway. And alongside those aircraft, an Iskander-M launcher vehicle was struck and destroyed at its firing position in marshland near Taganrog. The Iskander-M is not a generic military vehicle. It is the most lethal and most feared tactical ballistic missile system in Russia's entire conventional arsenal. A single Iskander-M launcher can fire ballistic missiles to a range of approximately 500 kilometers with a circular error probable, the radius within which half of all shots land of less than 2 meters, from 500 kilometers away. These are the missiles that Russia has been using to strike Ukrainian hospitals, schools, civilian infrastructure, and military command posts throughout the entire war. These are the missiles that Ukraine's Patriot batteries have been expending $3 million interceptors to destroy. These are the missiles that cost approximately $3 million each to produce, and that Russia has been firing at the rate that its production capacity permits. Ukraine's drones, operating inside Russian territory without warning, destroyed one launcher and its associated vehicles in a single operation at a location that Russia believed was safe from attack. And this is not a single isolated incident. It is the latest strike in a documented, systematic, methodical campaign to destroy Russia's Iskander-M fleet and its S-400 air defense systems that Ukraine has been executing for months across multiple Russian regions, using low-cost drones to destroy weapon systems that Russia cannot rapidly replace. Satellite images confirmed the destruction of 4 S-400 launchers and 2 radar systems in Novorossiysk in November of 2025, rendering an entire S-400 battery inoperative. In late April of 2026, Ukrainian drones struck an Iskander storage base near the village of Ovrashki, 40 kilometers east of occupied Simferopol in Crimea, penetrating reinforced concrete shelters where Russian military personnel had hidden the missile systems to protect them from exactly this kind of attack. The shelters did not stop the drones. In May of 2026, Ukraine struck an Iskander short-range ballistic missile site in Crimea again, with Militarny publishing a Google Earth map of the locations struck. In December of 2025, drone footage confirmed the destruction of an S-400 launcher in Russia's Belgorod region, with a second launcher damaged. In March of 2026, over 500 Russian air defense systems were destroyed in 4 months, according to Ukraine's general staff, a pace that United 24 media described as so high that Russia is currently unable to meet its own air defense needs. Over 500 systems in 4 months. The implications of that number are the specific story that the mainstream narrative has not yet assembled in one place. Because when Russia cannot meet its own air defense needs, the entire architecture of Russian military power, which depends on air defense to protect its troops, its logistics, its oil refineries, its command posts, and ultimately its territory, begins to collapse from the inside. Let me give you the 4-stage framework that makes Ukraine's systematic destruction of Russia's Iskander and S-400 systems comprehensible as a strategic campaign rather than a collection of individual strikes. Stage 1 is the air defense suppression gateway. Every strike that Ukraine conducts inside Russian territory begins with the need to penetrate Russian air defenses. Russia's S-400 long-range surface-to-air missile system, with a range of approximately 400 kilometers against aircraft and shorter ranges against ballistic missiles, is the backbone of Russia's layered air defense architecture. S-400 batteries protect Russian cities, military airfields, logistics hubs, and oil refineries from Ukrainian drone and missile attacks. Destroying S-400 batteries removes the protective layer that makes subsequent strikes possible. The logic is sequential. Destroy the S-400 battery protecting the oil refinery. Now the drones can reach the oil refinery without the S-400 engaging them. Destroy the S-400 battery protecting the military airfield. Now the drones can reach the airfield. Ukraine's over 500 air defense system destructions since March 2026 are not merely about removing individual defensive assets. They are opening the routes through which every subsequent strike operates. Stage 2 is the Iskander production economy. The Iskander-M launcher vehicle is not the missile itself. It is the platform that fires the missile. A single launcher can fire multiple missiles over its operational life. But a destroyed launcher requires replacement from Russia's production capacity, and Russia's Iskander production is constrained by sanctions-disrupted component supply chains. Defense Blog confirmed that each launcher and its associated transport loading vehicles, 5 of which were destroyed in a single earlier strike along with a mobile command post, represents a significant production and logistics burden to replace. The systematic targeting of Iskander launchers, transport loading vehicles, and the reinforced concrete shelters in which Russia conceals them degrades Russia's ability to conduct the ballistic missile strikes that have been its primary means of hitting Ukrainian cities, military positions, and energy infrastructure throughout the war. Stage 3 is the air power attrition complement. The Tu-142 aircraft destroyed tonight at Taganrog, alongside the Iskander launcher, represent a different but complementary dimension of Russian military capability being simultaneously degraded. Tu-142 aircraft are long-range maritime patrol and anti-submarine warfare platforms, based on the Tu-95 turboprop strategic bomber airframe. They are critical for monitoring submarine activity in the Black Sea and the broader maritime approaches to Russia's southern naval infrastructure. With Russia's Black Sea fleet already severely degraded, the Tu-142 aircraft that provide long-range maritime surveillance are among the last remaining tools for detecting and responding to Ukrainian naval drone threats at distance. Destroying two Tu-142s at Taganrog removes persistent maritime surveillance capability that Russia needs to track Ukrainian naval drones approaching Novorossiysk and other Black Sea targets. Stage 4 is the psychological and informational warfare dimension. Every Ukrainian drone strike on Russian territory that destroys a high-value system and is documented on video and published on social media by the unmanned Systems Forces commander serves a dual purpose. Military, it degrades Russian capability. Informational, it demonstrates to the Russian population, the Russian military command, and the international community that no asset in Russia is safe. The Taganrog strike was not in Crimea. It was not in Belgorod or Kursk near the Ukrainian border. Taganrog is deep in the Rostov region. Its military airfield housed two 142 aircraft that the Russian Air Force considered to be operating in a secure rear area. Tonight, that assumption was corrected at the cost of two aircraft worth approximately $200 million combined and one Iskander launcher. 3 historical case studies prove that the systematic destruction of an adversary's most critical weapon systems, executed through innovative delivery methods the adversary did not anticipate, has always produced the decisive shifts in military balance that conventional analyses of frontline positions failed to predict. The year is 1942, the Dambusters raid. On the 16th of May of 1943, Royal Air Force No. 617 Squadron attacked the Möhne, Edersee, and Sorp dams in the Ruhr Valley of Germany, using bouncing bombs developed by Barnes-Wallis. The Möhne and Edersee dams were breached, releasing approximately 330 million tons of water that flooded the Ruhr Valley, destroying power stations, disrupting industrial production, and forcing Germany to divert significant engineering and construction resources to dam repairs. The raid's importance was not primarily in the immediate damage, but in demonstrating that targets Germany considered structurally impregnable could be destroyed by innovative weapons and tactics that circumvented conventional defenses. The reinforced dam walls that protected against conventional bombing were not designed against a spinning bomb that bounced on the water surface and detonated at the base. Russia's reinforced concrete shelters in Crimea that concealed Iskander systems were not designed against small drones that could penetrate shelter openings and strike vehicles inside. The same logic applies. Innovative delivery defeats conventional protection. Check. Verified. Undeniable. The year is 1991, the Gulf War's first night. Coalition aircraft execute the most comprehensive opening air campaign since World War II in the first hours of Operation Desert Storm. The campaign's targeting priority is Iraq's integrated air defense system. Destroy the air defenses first, then everything else follows. F-117 stealth aircraft strike the Baghdad air defense operations centers. Wild Weasel F-4G aircraft hunt and destroy Iraqi surface-to-air missile radars. Special Operations Forces insert ahead of the air campaign to destroy early warning radar installations in western Iraq before coalition aircraft cross the border. The integrated air defense system's destruction in the first hours of the campaign enables coalition aircraft to operate over Iraq with dramatically reduced risk for the campaign's remaining 38 days. Ukraine's over 500 Russian air defense system destructions since March 2026 are the attritional equivalent of the first night of Desert Storm, executed not in a single night, but across months, using cheap drones rather than expensive stealth aircraft, and with the same fundamental strategic logic. Suppress the air defenses first. Everything else becomes possible after. Check. Verified. Undeniable. The year is 2019 through 2022, the Nagorno-Karabakh conflicts. Armenia and Azerbaijan fight 2 wars over the disputed territory. In both conflicts, Azerbaijan deploys Turkish-made Bayraktar TB-2 drones to devastating effect against Armenian Soviet-era air defense systems, tanks, and artillery. The specific operational sequence that Azerbaijan employed was identical to what Ukraine is now executing against Russia at scale. TB2 drones identify and destroy Armenian OSA and S-300 surface-to-air missile systems first. With air defenses suppressed, TB2s operate freely over the battlefield. Armenian armored columns advancing without air defense cover are destroyed from the air. In the 44-day Second Nagorno-Karabakh War of 2020, Azerbaijan destroyed the majority of Armenia's heavy military equipment and won a decisive territorial victory at relatively low cost in manpower. The lesson for the Ukraine-Russia war is not the scale comparison, which is dramatically different, but the tactical sequence. Air defense suppression through drone warfare enables air freedom over the battlefield. Air freedom enables the subsequent destruction of every other military asset, including tanks, artillery, logistics, and command posts. Ukraine has been executing the sequence for months. Over 500 air defense systems destroyed in 4 months. 81 confirmed S-400, S-300, and radar system destructions since March 1st of 2026, per the Ukrainian General Staff. The sequence is working. Verified. Undeniable. Now apply that framework to the complete verified picture of what Ukraine has achieved against Russia's Iskander and S-400 systems in the current war, and what tonight's Taganrog strike means for Russia's ability to defend its own territory and continue attacking Ukraine. Ukraine has destroyed over 20 Russian S-400 systems with cheap drones, according to reporting, confirmed by satellite imagery analysis. 4 S-400 launchers and 2 radar systems confirmed destroyed at Novorossiysk in a single operation in November 2025, with the critical 92 N6 engagement radar, which provides target illumination for S-400 missiles and is considered the most critical element of the system, destroyed in that strike. Its loss effectively disables the entire battery. Subsequent strikes have continued the campaign. An S-400 launcher in Belgorod confirmed, destroyed by drone footage in December 2025. Iskander storage base in Crimea penetrated through reinforced concrete shelters and vehicles. Inside, struck in late April 2026. Iskander site in Crimea struck again in May 2026. And tonight, an Iskander launcher at a firing position near Taganrog struck and destroyed, along with two Tu-142 maritime patrol aircraft. Russia is installing air defense systems on Moscow rooftops, according to Ukrainska Pravda, reporting from May 28th. That single detail, Russia placing air defense on residential rooftops in its capital city, is the specific visible consequence of over 500 air defense system destructions in 4 months. Russia does not have enough mobile S-400 and Pantsir batteries left to protect its frontline positions, its rear logistics, its oil refineries, its airports, and its capital simultaneously. It is robbing from all other categories to protect Moscow. The oil refineries that Ukraine is targeting have progressively fewer S-400 systems to defend them. The Iskander launch sites that Ukraine is targeting are increasingly moved to concealed positions in shelters that Ukrainian drones have demonstrated they can penetrate. The military airfields that Ukraine is targeting have fewer Pantsir and Tor short-range air defense systems, because those systems have been destroyed at a rate that Russia cannot match through production. The air defense destruction rate since March 2026, 81 confirmed in the Ukrainian General Staff's count, represents approximately 2 full S-400 brigade sets eliminated in 4 months. Russia began the war with approximately 49 S-400 battalions total. 12 to 16 of those battalions have been assessed as deployed in the Ukraine theater, according to various defense analyses. The rate of attrition, sustained for another 4 months at the same pace, removes meaningful S-400 coverage from the theater entirely. That is the trajectory. Not a single dramatic moment. A systematic depletion that ends with the day when Russia's air defense coverage over its rear areas is so thin that Ukrainian drones reach any target they choose without engaging a single surface-to-air missile. That day is not yet here, but the direction is set. The Taganrog strike that destroyed an Iskander launcher and 2 Tu-142 aircraft 5 hours ago is one more data point on a line that points in one direction. Russia's most feared missile system is being destroyed by the cheapest drones in Ukraine's inventory. Putin's most powerful conventional weapons are being erased from their concealed firing positions by operators sitting in safe locations, watching drone feeds. Subscribe now.